Good morning, IP students. Today our topic is MySQL aggregate function, and as you know that this is a revision part of MySQL. And in this lecture, we are going to discuss about aggregate function, especially count function. So first of all, what is an aggregate function? Aggregate function is a function where the value of multiple rows are grouped together to form a single summary value. And we know that aggregate function are used with group by clause, and they are basically used to summarize the report or summarize the result in according to the need um, according to the need in a query. So there are some few various aggregate functions such as a count function, sum function, avj for average, min for minimum value, and max is used for maximum. So let us start with count function. As the name suggests, count, so it basically counts the number of records. So MySQL count function is used to return the count of an expression. So it is used to return the count of an expression, any number of count, rows count, or record counts. It basically returns the number of records according to our need or according to the condition specified in a query, and it allows us to count all rows or only some rows of the table that matches a specified condition. So whatever is the condition specified in a query, it actually count all these rows or records in a table, and it is a type of aggregate functions, as we just discussed in this video, that aggregate function is a function where the value of multiple rows are grouped together. So it may be asked in examination that what do you mean by aggregate function and what are the different types of aggregate functions. So aggregate function is nothing but only the function where the value of multiple rows are grouped together, and different aggregate functions are grouped together to form a single summary value. And various aggregate functions are count, sum, average, min, max. So count is one of them, and it allows to count all the rows, as the name suggests, count. So it basically allow us to count all rows or only some rows according to the condition specified. Next is the type of aggregate function, as we know, and one of the most important thing about the count function is that it returns type is big int. So it returns big int value. And last important point regarding to the count function is that this function returns 0 if it does not find any matching value. So the role of the count function is to count the number of rows or records, and if no records are found according to the condition specified, then it basically returns 0 to us. Next, we can use the count function in three forms, which are explained below: count star, count expression, and count distinct. So according to our need, we can use one out of three. Most of the time we use count star, but count expression and count distinct are also used. So count star function, this function uses the select statement to return the count of rows in a result set. The result set contain all null, non-null, null, and duplicate values. So basically, if a table contains different values, they may be non-null, or they may be null, or even they may be duplicate rows. They count all of them. They count all of them. Even the values are duplicated. Even the rows are null. Even the values are null. So it doesn't affect, it count all of them. That is the rule of count star function. So whenever you put asterisk mark within the parenthesis sign of count, then it simply means that it count everything, each and everything. Next is count expression function. This function returns the result set without containing null rows as the result of an expression. So difference between count expression and count asterisk function is that where count asterisk function returns all values which are related to non-null, null, or even the duplicate values, but in case of count expression it is not so. The count expression function returns the result set without containing null rows those rows which contain null values are not considered in count expression function. So that is the basic difference between count asterisk function and count expression function. Next is count distinct expression functions. So this functions return the count of distinct rows without containing null value as a result of the expression. So if there is a duplication of records in a table, then count distinct expression basically count distinct operation. That means or duplicate values are not allowed, or only count only a single time. If there are 5 duplicate values, then it counts only a 1. When we use distinct keyword, distinct is a keyword and distinct means unique. So basically every unique value is already count is every unique value is count only. So no duplicate values are allowed when distinct keyword is used with expressions. So now the difference is I think very much clear to all of you. Count asterisk function, it count everything, whether the value is null or not null or duplicate. It count each and everything. It counts the number of the records, whether it contain null or whether it contain not null, or whether it contain duplicate value or whether it don't contain duplicate value. It count each and everything. The asterisk marks means whenever you mark an asterisk sign within the count function, within the parenthesis of the count function, it simply means that it count each and everything. It doesn't affect that value is null or not null or duplicate. It doesn't affect on the counting. Next is count expression function. Count expression function just count the thing but not consider any null value. So if we want to know, if we don't want to consider null value, then just we write count expression function and we write an expression within the parentheses of the count function, and it just returns us all rows that have no null value. And then if we want to remove the duplicate value and just count it only a single time, for example, in a class there are 50 students in which 2 students have same name, then if we use a count distinct expression, then it gives us a 49 records. It gives the value of 49. And why it gives a 49 value? Because duplicate values are considered as a single value. So count distinct functions used for that purpose. So the idea is very simple. Whenever you mark asterisk function within the count, within the parentheses it simply means that it count each and everything, whether the value is null or not null. And whenever you count just expression functions, then it count it don't count null value. It doesn't count and third important thing, whenever you just write count distinct expression, so just is remove the duplicate values and count as a single value. That is the basic difference between these count asterisk, count expression, and count distinct expression. And according to the need, according to the circumstances or whatever the requirement, we use different types of count functions in MySQL. Next, that is syntax of count function. How we can count? First of all, aggregate function should always be used with select statement, as you see here. That is a select statement. So as you see here, the select statement is there, and with select statement here we just write count and then aggregate expression and then from table in. This is a simple select statement, but the only difference is that we here use count function. And then if there is a condition, then it count according to that condition, whatever is specified with select statement, or there may be more than one conditions also. We can separate if there are more than one condition, then we can separate it by and or by and or operators. So parameter explained here. Aggregate function, it specifies the columns of the expression whose non-null values can be counted. Here, as I told you earlier, that when you count, just pass asterisk sign within parentheses, that it simply means that it count each and everything. It count each record, whether the values are duplicated or not, whether the value is null or not null. It count each and everything. But when we pass it aggregate expression, then it doesn't. Then it count only the value which are not null. Then table name, It is specify the table from where you want to retrieve the records, and there must be at least one table listed in the form clause. So there at least one table. If there are more than one tables, then it count to the record from both of the table, or all the tables which are giving after from table names. And third is where condition. It is specify, it is optional, it is specify the condition that must be fulfilled for the records to be selected. If the condition is given here, according to that record will be selected. If there is no condition at all, then all records will be selected in that case. So where clause is basically used to give the condition. Here if the condition is given, then counting is according to that condition, and if there is no condition at all, then it just simply counts the total number of records, whatever you might mention in the parenthesis. If we start that, it count each and everything. If there is aggregate function, then it count only not null values, and if we just write to count distinct, then it remove duplicate values also, not null, obviously not null and duplicate values. So that is the syntax of count function. Next, there is an example here. In MySQL, there is a table employee already created, and as we can see that these are the different attributes of table: employee ID, employee name, employee age, city, and income. And these are the records: 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108. And we can easily see that total number of records here are 8 records, and in correspond, and there is uh, no duplicate value at all, I think. As far as employee ID, it is a unique. Employee name is also unique. Employee age, there are some duplicate values, as you can see that 32 is here and 32 is again here. And city is you can see that California here appears 2 times. And income, and income is unique, so no duplication values. So some column have duplicate values, but some are unique at all. So this is a database of employees record which have 5 attributes: employee ID, employee name, employee city, and income, and total number of 8 records here. Now if we want to count these records, so let us take what happens. Always remember that the name of the table is employee here. The table name is employee. And you can see here, if we just write select count employee name from employee, then let us check whether there is a duplication of name here or not. You can see that there is no duplication of record here. So when you write select count employees from employees, then total number 8 records will be returned by MySQL. And here you can see another thing, that name of the column is count emp underscore name. So this is the column name also. If you give it as another name, then then just write after that statement space as column name. But suppose the column name is emp, that is a column name, emp count, empc, emp underscore c. So here this name appears here. So it will provide you a duplicate name, it will provide you alternative name for that. Most of the time we use it, but it is not mandatory. So if we don't write, then the column name will be this as it appear, and there is no duplication of records here. Even if there is a duplication of records, since we don't write distinct clause, so it again in this case will be return 8. if we write distinct emp underscore name, only then it will check that whether there is a duplication of records or not. In this case there is no duplication of records, so in both of the cases answer will be 8. And also there is no null values at all, so answer will be 8 for all the three cases, whether we write asterisk mark, whether we write emp underscore name, or whether we write distinct emp underscore name. Now I think it is clear to all of you, so let us take another slide. Execute the following statement that returns all rows from the employee table, and where clause specify the rows whose values in this column emp underscore age is greater than 32. Here two things are added. First of all, condition is given. Second thing, here we use asterisk sign. So what does this mean? This simply means that when we write just count as a star, that means that it count each and everything, each and every record, whether the values are null or not null, whether they are duplication of records or not, duplication of values or not. It just count each and everything. So that is clear. Now condition, where employee age is 32, so it count only those records where employee age is greater than 32. So let us check it. What happens? Let us check it. Employee age is greater than 32. Here this will not considered, this also is not considered. 40 is considered, 35 is considered, 32 is not considered here. Next 45 is considered, 35 is considered, and 40 is considered. So total there are 5 records, I think. Yes, so 5 will be the answer, and here is the column name. You can easily see that. Next, this statement uses the count distinct expression. Count distinct expression function that count the non-null distinct rows in the column. Non-null and distinct rows in the column. It is explained. It is already explained in this lecture that whenever we put distinct expression, distinct clause within the parenthesis sign, and after that give it expression, so it just count all distinct rows. So no duplicate values are allowed, and also not null values are also not allowed. Null values are not allowed also. So all it considered only not null values. So let us check, and what we want to check here, employee age. So in terms of employee age, no null values is not considered, and second thing, no duplicate values considered. So let us check it, that whether there is a duplication of records in the table or not. You can easily see that 32 is duplicate, and 32 actually comes here in 3 times, so it will count only a single time, that is 1. And then after 35 is also here at 2 times, so it is also considered as a single time 1. And then 40 is also here 2 times, so it is also counted as a 1. And then 45 appears here only 1, so it is also counted as a 1. So total number of distinct records here are 4. So let us check what is the output. In this case, this is the output, yes, and this is the column name, as we give no alternative name here, so this is the default column name here. MySQL count function with group by clause. This is very important. We discussed already group by clause, and where different count functions are already discussed. Different types of count functions are already discussed. So let us take an example here, and we can also use the count function with the group by clause that returns the count of the element in each group. For example, the following statement returns the number of the employees in each city. Always remember that most of the time aggregate functions use most of the time group by clause use aggregate functions, and out of this most of the time count functions is used. So let us see what happens after the execution of that statement. Select employee name and city. So there are now here three columns for it. Employee name will be there, city will be there, and count staff will be there. And then from employee is the name of table, and group by city. So group by city, here group by clause is used, so actually data is grouped according to the city. And so it count different employees name belongs to different cities, and the number of employees belong to different cities are grouped, and their counting is marked against them. Let us see it. First of all, let us take a main table. This is a table here, and you can see that there is a any duplication of records, duplication of values in city. Here you can see that Florida comes here two times, and so Florida is considered as a one, and against the Florida the person are counted here. So the person are counted here are Obama and McCallum here. So as in case of California, again you can see that California there are two persons, Adam and Mark, there are two persons. And New York only a single person is there, Peter. And Arizona, Donald is there, and Alaska, Ken is there, and Georgia, Lincoln is there. So these cities are written when we execute this query, then they appear only a single time, and against these city values the number of employees will be counted here. So let us check what is the output. Okay, and we write select employee name, city, count star from employees, then employee name will be there, city will be there, and the count star is also there. And then mark California, and the count star is 2 here, and Obama, Florida, count star is again 2 here, because you can see that in Florida and in California, you can see here Florida, this is Florida, there are two persons, and California again there are two persons. So for these two cities it just simply returns 2. And total number of records here are 1 2 3 4 5 6 6 records are there, and out of total number of records are 8. Total number of records are 8 as we see here, but there is a duplication value in terms of Florida and California, so they appears only a single time here. You can see here, yes, this is for this. So this is the output after the execution of that statement. And it is a good practice to use count as star or count aggregate function with a single column, because column name, because it provides you the facility of counting regarding to that column. Otherwise some information will be missing here, as you can see that in terms of the employee name. Next is a count function with having an order by clause. As you know that when we want to put a condition with having clause, then this condition should relate to the group by clause. So if there is a condition against any group, then we use having clause. And order by clause is basically used to arrange the data in ascending or descending order. So let us check here. Here select employee name, employee age in count, and then from employee, and then group by according to the employee age. And here condition on the group is count asterisk star asterisk greater than equal to 2 and order by count star. So it means that order by count star means, first of all, the counting it always is in ascending order, because by default order by clause data will be in ascending order, and count according to only those data who have value greater than equal to 2. So that is the result here. You can see that 2 to 3k. Order by count statistic. Employee age 40, 2 counts are there. Employee age 35, 2 counts are there. Employee age 32, 3 counts are there. Just put another thing, and this is complete. Before semicolon line, just write DESC, then the answer will be correct. DSC means decreasing order. Otherwise, answer will be increasing order. 3 comes first, after then 2, and after that 2. So just try it on a computer, that without DSC or with DSC what happens. And here only those will be counted who have greater than equal to value 2. So this is having clause. Here 3 important things. First of all, count asterisk, so it will basically count the total number of records. Second important thing is, here there is a group, and this group is against employee age. And third is condition. Having condition always used with the group by clause, and if there is a condition on group, then it must be mentioned with having clause. So there is a having clause, and it says that you count here only when star is greater than equal to 2, when the marking is greater than 2. And then order by count star, it is a if you use order by clause, then it basically arrange the data in ascending order by default. But if you just put the ESC sign after that, DSC symbol after that, or keyword after that, then it shows your record in descending order. So that is the answer of query. So now we can summarize it as, first of all, aggregate functions are those functions where the values multiple rows are grouped together to form a single summary values, and there are basically 5 aggregate functions. Count is one of them, and it is very important. Count can be used in 3 different ways: count star, expression, and distinct. If you want to put all values, whether it is null or not, then just write count as star. And then if you want to put only if you want to count only not null values, then just write expression within the parentheses of count function. And if you want to just note to distinct value or different values and duplicate values, you don't want to allow duplicate values, then just write distinct function. Then next is a count function. Next is the use of count function here. So count function mostly used with group by clause here. And if you want to put a alternative name to the function name, okay, because by default whatever you write within the whatever you write with select statement, it appears as it is. And if you want to give alternative name, just write as, and then name of the column which you want to show in your result. And third important thing is that count function is also used with group by clause. And with group by clause, if there is a condition, then counting will be done according to that condition. And if there are order by clause, then this will show your data either in ascending or descending order. So I hope now this concept is quite clear to all of you. First of all, make a table in MySQL, and you can take different or multiple name, even the not null values, and just apply all this concept. Then the concept will be quite clear to all of you, and you will easily differentiate that how count functions works in different circumstances or different with different conditions. Thank you for watching this